Okay, thank you. I will call to order this special meeting of a special village board meeting for January 20th at 7:32. I got a text message from President Rozek late this afternoon. She's got an issue with a pet at the vet and things are going well, but she's still there. So in her absence, I will be leading the meeting. And bear with me while I go through the protocols. This is a teleconference meeting of the village board. I will be leading the meeting and board members will be called upon to speak. If there are members of the public on the call that desire to speak on a topic that is not on the agenda, they will be provided an opportunity to do so under citizens to be heard on the agenda. The chair may also allow for the public to speak following village board member discussion on an item following the board discussion. To ensure an efficient meeting, members of the public should not speak until called upon to do so. Members of the public have been muted and their video turned off upon entry. Members of the public will be unable to unmute themselves or turn on their video. Comments will be taken during citizens' comments and if the board accepts comments at other times during an agenda item. When the village board starts accepting citizen comments, members of the public will have the ability to unmute themselves and appear by video by raising their virtual hand, selecting the raise hand under the button right side under participant name. After being called upon by the chair, members of the public on the phone will have the ability to unmute themselves by pressing *6. The chat function has been disabled for both village board and public use. Clerk Bruckman, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Trustee Amenta.
Here.
Trustee Bachhorst.
Yes.
Trustee Carpenter.
Here.
Trustee Ursink. Does not look to be on yet. Trustee Stokebrand.
Here.
Trustee Warren.
Here.
And President Rozek is excused.
And has the meeting been publicly noticed?
The meeting has been posted and noticed according to law.
Okay, thank you. Item 4, citizens to be heard. Do we have any people who have asked to be heard?
No one has contacted me ahead of time. So if there's anybody at this time, if you could raise your hand. Michelle Waite. Michelle, if you could unmute yourself and please say your name and address.
Hi, my name is Michelle Waite. My address is 4335 North Wildwood Avenue.
All right, go.
And you have an issue to bring before the board at this time?
Yes, I wanted to read a letter and I wanted to thank the 3 trustees that have already signed on to this letter, but I just wanted to read it at this meeting as well. The letter's titled "No Justice for Jacob Blake" underlies need for robust policing oversight in Shorewood. On January 5th, 2021, almost 5 months after the deadly attack on an unarmed man, Jacob Blake, we were devastated to learn that the officer who shot him in the back 7 times and in front of his children would not be charged. In Southeast Wisconsin, we should have a common understanding of humanity, no matter someone's race, age, gender, or socioeconomic status. No one should ever live in fear. Again, we are in a place where we pause as we witness how far we truly need to go. In the village of Shorewood, we believe our common humanity will prevail as we unlearn this race-based caste system. In the United States, all of us have been taught by our life experiences and culture that people can be treated differently based only on their race. We need to look towards a society where everyone can thrive and live safely side by side. We will continue to work toward ensuring that our community acknowledges this truth so we can reconcile. As seen in history, we cannot thrive in the future until we have faced our past and released its anchor through truth and reconciliation. As part of that effort, we stand by the family of Jacob Blake and everyone in Wisconsin who believes in fair treatment under the law. We call for transparency and an investigation into the office of the Kenosha prosecutor who refused to seek justice for an unarmed man who was shot 7 times by a police officer. We demand that the state conduct an investigation into the 5-month process, which resulted in no charges. And we support the Blake family's call for the U.S. Attorney's Office to conduct a full, fair, and transparent civil rights investigation into the shooting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there anyone else who would like to speak
I don't see anybody else. If there's anyone at this time, if you'd like to raise your hand or unmute yourself.
I see a couple of hands. Well, now I don't. I see one hand. I see it in the frame, but not in the bar on
Yeah, it's
the
like
side.
a clapping motion. So I
Oh.
think we're good to move on. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michelle. Okay, new business.
Oh. Sorry, Trustee Stokerbrand.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone from Shorewood Moving Forward and Shorewood Community Network and all the organizations and the other trustees that also signed on to this. Thank you very much. And I think it was a very fitting thing to read today for a variety of reasons. I won't go into them right now because I don't want to have conflicts with this office, but I appreciate that this was done. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Bachhorst. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Moving on to new business, item 5A, consider applying for the Public Service Commission Energy Innovation Grant. Let's see, I guess we'll look for a staff report on this.
I can provide a quick summary. Conservation Committee recommended, brought this to the village's attention, asking for us to consider applying. After talking with departments and assessing where we could apply, we determined the best bet would be Village Center, applying for some advanced rooftop control units. It was one of the items that was specified in the energy audit that was performed back in 2018. So that's what the grant proposal is for. And one of the policies or procedures that the board has always asked is before we submit for a grant, just to get the okay from the board before doing so. So that's what we're asking for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone on the board have a question or an issue? Trustee Bachhorst?
Yeah, thank you. Just a quick question, Tyler. You had mentioned that it was board, was it policy that we have all grants come before you, or was that a recommendation from board? I'm just curious.
Becky, do you have an answer to that?
Sorry, Trustee Bachhorst, could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, thanks. I was just wondering if that, I didn't catch the first part. Did you say that was board policy or your own internal desire to have board approval before applying for a grant? And the reason I'm asking is because I'd like to know what to do going forward as far as that's concerned.
Sure. I can address that. A couple years ago, the board had identified different things that it wanted to see prior to proceeding in a process of submittal, and grants were requested to come to the board prior to being submitted by staff. So that's something that we have attempted to do when at all possible.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that, Rebecca. I guess I don't know if we have items for future consideration on this, but I would say that we would probably going forward remove that requirement from this board, just given grants are great and we can always decline them. But anyway, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm not necessarily sure that I agree with that, but if you want it on an agenda, obviously that's your prerogative.
Oh, Kathy, I'm sorry. Yeah, you don't have to. I'm just stating mine, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Trustee Carpenter, and then Trustee Warren after her.
Thank you. This is just more of a comment, especially in light of the increase of early voting and absentee voting. I know that we've used Village Center a lot, and reviewing the application, I'm just wondering if we can should maybe make that a little bit more prominent. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but I would just somewhat assume that, in the future that those voting trends would continue since people have become more comfortable with those ways of voting. So that's my only comment about the application. Otherwise, I'm ready to vote. So
I'd be happy to include early voting as one of the many uses of the building. So I know exactly where to put it in the applications. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
Trustee Warren?
So this might be a basic question, but so the grant can be for all or partial. And then if we don't get the whole thing, we can apply for more for other grants. but I'm just kind of wondering, so if we get, and it has to be done by 2022. So I'm wondering if we get like 5,000 and then we don't get another grant, or we fail to get another grant, do we have to budget 50,000 to do this in 2021, or can we just give back the grant?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's up to you as a board if you would want to fund the remaining. If you decide not to in the 2022 budget, then we just don't use the grant funds and return it back to the program.
Okay, perfect. That was the answer I was hoping for.
And I had a question. If I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. If we don't get the grant, how does the life expectancy on this HVAC, how does that tie in, this improvement, how does it tie in with the library remodel plan? Is it about the same time? So we could, I would want to put in something as a 20, 30-year improvement if the renovation for Village Center, is that 2030? And do you know what the lifespan of this improvement is? Is it supposed to dovetail, is my question? Do we know?
Oh, that I wish I had Joel to answer that one. All I can say is, speaking with him, we've had the issues with the HVAC system. We've done some improvements to get it by. We would like some better long-term answers, but at least for the immediate future with what we have, if we weren't awarded this grant, it's not like we're going to be in a situation where we're stuck in a really bad situation. I mean, I still think we're fine. The part with the benefit with the advanced control units is just the ability to control it remotely, and have a lot better control of just the energy usage. So for a lifespan, I don't know what it was, but given that was the original part of the building when it was erected back in 2001 or 2003, we're coming up on 20 years, and I can't imagine more than 20, 30 years is, I can't anticipate a lifespan longer than that. So,
okay.
Unfortunately, that's all I can speak to.
We don't know if this will not necessarily, the alcove issue is the biggest problem. Is that right? Isn't the alcoves where they always have the heating and cooling issues and possibly leaking? This maybe doesn't affect it. Yeah, they're not here. Okay.
It's not related?
Not related.
Correct.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I can make a motion.
Go ahead, Trustee Carpenter.
Thank you. I move to authorize staff to apply for the EIGP grant requesting $55,850 for advanced rooftop control units for Village Center.
Second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion on the Trustee Bockhorst? Did you have was it? No? Okay.
I was adjusting.
This is sorry, Trustee Ursink. Sorry, I'm on the phone, guys. I apologize. I'm stepping in a little bit late.
Okay, thank you for joining us. So we have just made a motion and have a second to apply for the Public Service Commission Energy Innovation Grant. And I believe we're ready to take a roll call vote. Unless there's anyone else have another comment? I don't see any. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Clerk Bruckman.
Trustee Bockhorst.
Yes.
Trustee Menta.
Aye.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Carpenter.
Aye.
Trustee Ursink.
Aye.
Trustee Stokebrand.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to new business, 5B. Consider resolution 2021-03, a resolution moving wards 5 through 8 currently at Shorewood High School North Gym to vote at the Shorewood Village Center, 3920 North Murray, Shorewood, for the February 16, 2021 spring primary election and April 6, 2021 spring election. Let's see, Clerk Bruckman, did you want to add anything to the?
No, not really. The school is just trying to come up with an idea to potentially open their doors, and they need as much space as possible, which we completely understand. We know Village Center can definitely hold the capacity for the 2 elections, so it really is not going to be a capacity issue. especially now with Badger Books. So we did it in November and everything went great.
And so the two sites would be North Shore Presbyterian and the Village Center?
That is correct. And central count would, processing would stay at Village Hall.
Okay, thank you. Any trustees have questions?
I do.
Trustee Amenta and then Trustee Bockhorst.
So can you just review like which wards are voting where?
Yep. So wards 1 through 4 would stay at the Village Center where they normally vote. Wards 5 through 8 that would vote at the high school would move over and vote at Village Center for 2021. And then 9 through 12 would stay at the North Shore Presbyterian Church. And then all absentees would be processed at Village Hall.
And you're anticipating we'd have the same high level of absentees so that there wouldn't be an issue of having 8 wards voting at the same place?
Correct. And we do fully plan on setting up 6 to 7 e-poll books, which can do both registration and check-in voters. So it, you know, if there is a small line, it'll move them along really, really quickly. And they don't have to be divided in what wards they're in. They can go to any book. So.
I see. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, Trustee Bockhorst.
Thank you. Normally, I would not want to decrease the number of polling sites, but I understand that this is a recommendation or an ask from the school district. And as our village partners, of course, you know, I would want to be accommodating to their needs. Also, I wanted to ask Sarah, is there a need for any additional poll workers or anything at this time, whether it's at central count or at the polling place?
Not at this time. So we, a lot of the individuals who stepped up in 2020 are really enjoyed it and want to stay on. So we recruited a lot of different people, which is great. And we are doing well for the 2021 poll worker cycle. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, seeing no further hands raised, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Bockhorst. Do we have a second? I see
Second.
Jessica. We have a motion and a second. Do we need the motion read again, or is everybody confident in where we are with the motion? I think we're ready for a roll call vote then. Clerk Bruckman?
Great. Trustee Carpenter.
Aye.
Trustee Stokebrand.
Aye.
Trustee Ursink.
Aye.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Menta.
Aye.
Trustee Bockhorst.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, thank you. That looks like everything for this evening. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Warren, seconded by Trustee Bockhorst. And we can just do this with, we need a roll call vote. I'm sorry. Clerk Bruckman?
Trustee Ursink.
Aye.
Trustee Bockhorst.
Yes.
Trustee Menta.
Aye.
Trustee Warren.
Aye.
Trustee Carpenter.
Aye.
Trustee Stokebrand.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0 at 6:49.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Meeting is adjourned.
Congratulations, everyone. Inauguration Day. Happy Inauguration Day.